Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. Guys, I want to take a quick moment with this video and just kind of present some information to you all, and of course at the end of it kind of present to you all my theory on what's happening with this particular subject and see what you all think about it. I could be completely way off with it, but it would be nice to kind of hear your guys' information on it, create a dialogue around this. And I will say that obviously this is a very sensitive topic, a very sensitive crime that has been something that we've been seeing very extensively now in the news for the last couple of weeks, especially after the arrest and the suicide apparently of a particular individual who is most certainly involved in this particular sensitive crime, and apparently has quite possibly been linked to very big name people on the globe. So we're not sure, obviously, from the news media source how big this thing could possibly be, but I will say when you start seeing the United States Senate committee having subcommittee meetings to talk about this very in-depthly, especially with this topic here, as you can see on their page, it is this crime linking with the intersection and the financial system. This is absolutely huge, guys, and this is going to be a very big, grand scoped type of situation here. And I'm going to present to you some information kind of, putting everything together in one little sphere, and let me see what you guys think about this. Again, it's kind of, all related to a theory that I have, but you have this particular subcommittee setup that was taking place to talk about this very topic, and it is not limited to just fiat currency. The reason why I'm bringing this up, especially on my channel, is because it was also talking about outside of fiat currency in this financial system, this crime linking to regulating against crypto miners. Now, that's just to let you know that cryptocurrencies was just simply another method to finance this very sensitive crime that has taken place for the longest time now. So again, we're seeing not only fiat currencies, something linked to how the sensitive crime was being financed, but also cryptocurrencies, and more importantly, the regulation of crypto miners in particular. Now, according to this particular article, it's kind of an interesting read as far as how the Congress and the Senate would think about, obviously putting more regulations on crypto mining, even making it more centralized, which is odd because China has a very extensive amount of what I would guess centralization on the crypto mining that's being done in China alone. So I'm not exactly sure what approach, again, the Congress would take when it comes to regulating against crypto miners. Maybe something that would affect, more importantly, the United States versus China. But with everything that we've been hearing with China and the United States and the tariffs and the tension that's being built up, it's very odd and very interesting that we're seeing this here. And of course, I have to link up a couple different things here because China, according to different types of news sources, has also been a country that deals with this very sensitive crime on a very large scale just as well. And I'm going to kind of tap into a little bit of information regarding some, maybe it's more on the lines of speculation, but at the same time it makes sense as to what we've been seeing very recently here. Now, since we got this out of the way, again, we hear that the United States Senate committee had their subcommittee meeting about this very topic, and again, the financial system that was actually financing that crime. Now I want to present to you all some news of what we saw at the very beginning stages of President Donald Trump's, beginning stage of his presidency. So he created some executive orders, and one of them actually pertains to this particular topic here, very specifically. As a matter of fact, this is just one of the executive orders here written out and, of course, signed by the President of the United States when he came into office. And it says the Presidential Executive Order on enforcing federal law with respect to transnational criminal organizations and preventing international, that particular word there, that crime. Again, I don't want to say certain words to trigger the algorithms here. So basically, guys, I would suggest going through here and reading this because it gives you an in-depth look as what this executive order is all all about when it comes to this particular crime. And I will say that it really gives a lot of power to the federal government, the federal law enforcement, to really extend their reach out and, of course, enforce anybody who is a criminal when it comes to that particular sensitive crime there. And it goes so far as to reach even outside of the United States and even to take upon people's property. As a matter of fact, this is one of the little subcategory parts of this, and it says that basically they're going to pursue the criminals and support additional efforts to prevent operational success in transnational criminal organizations and subsidiary organizations within and beyond the United States, to include prosecution of ancillary criminal offenses such as immigration fraud and visa fraud, and the seizure of implements of such organizations and forfeitures of the proceeds of their criminal activity. So basically, guys, this means that alongside of them going through and basically detaining and arresting anybody who's part of this particular crime here, anybody who's a criminal that's part of this, will not only be, obviously detained and arrested, but their properties, anything they own, all of their, earnings, anything, their assets will be seized. Of course, something that, again, the federal government, the federal agents will be able to do according to this executive order. So keep that in mind. Again, we're seeing this topic already by the United States Senate Committee about the financial structure of what was financing this sensitive crime. Now we're looking at the fact that the president had already written out 2 years ago this particular executive order to basically seize anything that belongs to these criminals that were part of this major criminal activity here. So keeping all that in mind, guys, now I want to show you a couple other things just as well. So here we have a .org site that's dealing very specifically with this particular sensitive crime here, guys. And of course, you can check this out yourself and get a firmer understanding of a lot of the information and some of the facts here. They even put it in, obviously, a graph format to make it visually more understanding for you. Now, the thing I wanted to show you, especially with what we just talked about, is this particular graph here, talking about the profits that are made from this horrible, horrible crime. And as you can see, guys, they chunk it off in different types of sections here, and guys, we're talking about billions of dollars when it comes to this particular crime and the profits being made. My guess is that this information is not even including the amount of money that's possibly being laundered that's unaccounted for, and then of course any assets that any of these criminals have. Now here's kind of where my theory comes into play, and I want to kind of get your guys' idea. If we're seeing information such as this right here, as far as the billions and the dealings of the profits made off of this horrible crime, and then you think about the fact that there's probably even more money out there, mix that up with the executive order when it comes to this particular horrendous crime, and thinking about the idea that it's writing in that it's within and even outside of the United States, how many different types of people are involved that have unbelievable wealth that could be seized, and of course all those assets that can be seized just as well because they were involved in this criminal activity. I mean, really, guys, we could possibly see a substantial amount of money flooding into different types of markets because of that executive order confiscating all these billions of dollars with those criminals that are linked to this horrible crime. And if they wanted to, if the president and the White House wanted to, they could easily force this into a cryptocurrency or a digital asset such as XRP. Now, of course, I understand that we had that topic about crypto miners being regulated on, but it doesn't say anything about pre-mined coins, for example, or proof of concept being looked at, which is something that Ripple practices when it comes to the whole entire process of XRP. So, guys, we could see a substantial amount of money. I'm going pretty far-fetched, obviously, when it comes to the whole idea of Ripple being part of this here, but the idea of how Ripple's been so involved with not only the White House, but different types of central banks, very especially Christine Lagarde, IMF, the World Bank, for example. Again, Congress knows about Ripple. And of course, if they wanted to utilize Ripple, if they trust Ripple outside of this whole crypto mining situation, we could easily see XRP being a very substantial digital asset when it comes to being a safe haven for a lot of this money that could flood into the United States. So again, this is my theory, guys. Let me know what you think when it comes to this right here. I just hope I didn't go off on a tangent and bore you all, but I just thought that I've heard some people talking about this before as far as this topic and the United States Senate committee meeting, and I just wanted to kind of mix it together in relationship to, again, my theory. So let me know what you guys think. Definitely thank you guys for paying attention to this and watching my channel. And of course, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and hit that notification bell just as well. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you have anything to add to this, please do so. I enjoy the dialogue. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.